appropriately. So before knowing what was happening, really my life took a deep dive in a bad way, and eventually led to suicidal thoughts at some
Suicidal
point.
thoughts?
Yes, because as I say, good, the sadness, struggles with sleeping and all of that,
Yeah.
it leads like to psychological issues and all of that. So initially you're thinking like, okay, I'm just feeling low, I'm feeling down. But then that low and down, cutting myself socially, as I say, isolation, like lack of self-care also during that time. For example, if I did not have to go to work, then the thought of like taking a bath, eating.
Just doesn't come to mind.
It's like, no, you just want to sit in this one space. You just like sit.
Oh.
Hence, before I fully knew that it was menopause, at some point I thought that it's just depression, like clinical depression,
Yeah.
because the symptoms were almost the same.
Yeah.
And then now, suicidal thoughts are becoming a part of my life, right? And then I always say that God, the universe, whatever that you choose to call, intervened at the right time, because suddenly one day I felt like the clouds just cleared. Then
And that's the interesting part, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I just want to understand the thin line between that, because there's a thin line.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you can just wake up in the morning and you feel that this cloud of heaviness has just dissipated. The moment between that, the transitional moment is a change making moment. So I really want to understand like your life or your state of being just before that, leading to that.
My state of being was horrible, obviously, as I say, really, really, really bad. And I can't even put it into word, because as I say, Guti, it's a source that is greater than me that
Yeah.
was at play at that time. Because I mean, I've been coexisting with this thing for years, and I have not even done anything that is tangible to change. But suddenly something bigger than me then intervened, because it was almost like I'm waking to myself. Because before that point, when I have to show up for life, feeling the things that I was feeling, I'll be sitting with people having conversations, but I can't wait to get away from them.
You're not there.
Yes, it's almost like, that out of body experience. You're looking at yourself, because but what is going on? Because you used to enjoy this thing, you used to enjoy with being with these
Yeah.
people, you're loving your job and all of that, but suddenly you just like, I'm showing up, but I can't wait to be done. So that out of body kind of coexistent, it was a thing for a while. And then, as I say, then one day when I had been coexisting with it, entertaining so many thoughts and all of that, then something was like, you are entertaining suicidal thoughts. This is not good. This is not healthy. And then I had to backtrack as to what I've been going through. Then I
Yeah.
journaled, like jotted down everything that I had been experiencing, from the physical struggles
Yeah.
that I've been going through, this and this.
Is
and
that where the
this.
book came in?
Yes. And then the emotional symptoms, like as I say, low mood, irritability, mood swings, and all of that.
Yes.
And then now the feeling depressed, like suicidal thoughts and all of that. And then Dr. Google, I guess, being what it is, it kind of gave me an idea that I
Yeah.
could be looking into menopause. But because the symptoms, they could be for anything, I had to go for a consultation, because at my age at that time, I could not fully say that it's menopause, because if you're younger than 45,
Yes.
you cannot self-diagnose.
And how would you say that affected you? I mean, at that time, were you already planning for a family? Did you have those things in mind? Like,
I love
how
that
was it?
question. I love that
Yeah.
question. During that time, I had come out of a long-term relationship. So I
Okay.
decided to just go.
So
on
what
a
is long-term?
hiatus. For me, it was 3 years.
Okay.
I mean, 3 years of Unjolo is a long time.
It is.
3 years of Unjolo is a long time. So I felt that I needed to take time out,
Okay.
rediscover myself,
Yeah.
decide also the next relationship. What is it that I want to get out of it? That's when then the conversation with self, when it comes to children. Do I want to have children? Do I want to be a mother and all of that?
Yeah.
And my answer came back as a resounding no.
Yeah.
I love children and all of that, but the thought of having my own, it did not appeal to me.
Really?
So that was like,
Interesting.
done. Okay, no children for me. But at the time when I'm having this conversation, I still do not know that menopause is already rearing its
place.
head. You understand?
Oh, wow.
So when the tests were eventually done and I knew exactly what premature menopause means and what it comes with, then I knew that even if I had wanted children, that privilege, that freedom of choice and all of that was out of the window, because my body then was no longer going to be able to do that for me. So, yes.
Wow. Just to wrap up this section before we move to the next section, would you say that during your experience, it was a mixture of menopause as well as some sort of a depression that came at the same time? So you were able to, that's why you were not able to really like pin it down what exactly it is.
Okay. Like this type of depression, climacteric depression, it is linked to menopause. For example, with
So everyone who goes through menopause, they bound to go through that type
okay,
of.
let me explain to you to make it clear, especially
Yes.
for those that are also going to watch later.
Yes.
Puberty, it comes with periods, right? And periods, it comes with for some women, it comes with PMS and all of that, and mood swings and all of those things, like psychological symptoms.
Yeah.
And then pregnancy also, because yet again, like periods and puberty, it's a hormonal thing for women. Then they also struggle whether it's hormonal issues, including even after giving birth, postpartum depression and all of that. So menopause also one of the symptoms for some women. It is climacteric depression. So it's reproductive related depression. Women or girls during their periods, it is there for a few days maybe, because we know that periods happen for a few days.
Yeah.
And then also normally with postpartum, it is normally maybe those few months for some women just after giving birth. But menopause, because it's a longer transition, some women that will have that as a symptom, it might be longer, because then it's not like there's a break, unlike with pregnancy and periods.
Yeah.
The menopause transition, it's ongoing. And it's important, as we speak about the symptoms, just like with all the other stages, to know that every woman's experience is going to be different. Experiences are individual. Some women, their periods are easy, no period pains, nothing. Others, they're mild, they struggle about this and that and that. And then others is so severe. Same as with menopause. Some women, their transition to menopause is smooth. Others, it struggles here and there. And then others, life turned upside down.
Wow.
So we cannot use a blanket approach. And also women cannot say that if Xoli's symptoms were this and that, then it means that mine are gonna be this. Your
So it's
basket
unique
is
to each individual.
Yes. Hence, it's important that we become as clued up about it as much as possible, so that we don't get blindsided, because it's easy to get blindsided if you are always thinking this is how it's supposed to be. We know normally when we say menopause, hot flashes are the first thing that comes to mind. But then not every woman is going to get hot flashes. We think irregular periods. Not every woman's transition, that's the first change that is going to happen. Hence, it's important to have these conversations. It's important that we research before time. The same way that we have period preparation conversations, pregnancy preparation conversations, we should have these conversations so that, you know,
These topics are not really taught in school that much, right? It's almost like when you get to school. So I was speaking to my woman the other day, telling her about, you know, I'm gonna be interviewing Cody and we're gonna be speaking about menopause. We never spoke about the subject before. I really never thought, you know, it's a subject that we can speak about. But I was just asking her to see if she's really familiar with the thing. And then she said something that is really that has been at the back of my mind since. She said, do you remember how in school they would take away, they would say boys must go out of class, or they will isolate the girls, and then it will only be females, and then that's when they would touch on maybe their periods or their puberty stages and what they can expect in their bodies and whatsoever, right? So we were actually in an argument, me and her. She was saying, no, the school needs to do more.
Yes.
But then I was like, the educational system is not that much strong in a sense that it can override moral law, because as much as it's important, but there's still that morality thing that, okay, these are kids, they can't learn about sexuality and all of that in a moral sense. And I'm interested in finding out, what do you have to say about that?
I think there is
Well, with topics such as menopause being like the traditional thing, you know, like the most common thing that is being taught in class.
I believe that there is a time and place for this to be brought, whether at school, whether at church, in all aspects of our lives. It just needs to be appropriate. Just like children know about pregnancy now and all of that, they do get taught like a reproductive journey, how it works. But it's appropriate to them. It's not like delve now into the actual act that the people get into for this process to happen. Just like with menopause, kids need to know enough that there is this last phase of life, so that they are aware of it, so that when they find out about it, whether it's later in life, it's not
because
like
they are definitely going to find out about
they're going to find out. And sometimes they find out not just for themselves when they go through it, but you know, normally when menopause happens for most women, because the natural age for menopause is from the ages of 45 to 55, and then early menopause is 40 to 44, then premature menopause is 39 and younger. Normally by those ages, women normally are parents, they already have children. So you find that if they are hitting menopause at 45, chances are their child is either getting into puberty, adolescence. They are dealing with their own hormonal changes. Then the mom is transitioning into menopause. She's dealing with hormonal changes. So they need to be able to coexist together. And also, they can be able to notice mom's transition sometimes before even mom notices it.
If they are educated.
Yes, they coexist with their parents so much. They spend so much time with their parents. They can even be asking, but mommy, why are you shouting more now? If maybe that is your struggle, like irritability and all of that. So then they might be the one that actually raise the curtain for you. And it makes it also easy to sit them down and say that this is where I am, because they grew up and they learned at school about this last phase of life, even if they don't know the nitty-gritty. But then it is much better. I believe that we need to be the generation that is going to do better. Know that there's certain subjects that used to be deemed taboo, but that are not necessarily taboo, that need to be spoken about because they are natural. I mean, menopause is a natural phase of life. It's not like a woman has done anything wrong to bring it upon themselves. So the moment it is normalized from a young age, then those girls, when they reach menopause, then they're not going to go through it in secrecy and shame. And those boys also that learned about it at school, as they coexist with those women,